Peace, peace, peace. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Wherever you are, my name is James Crawford, and this is the Crawford Experience Podcast. Today's show is going to be about this Mr. Tendernism story. I've been hearing the last few days. It's crazy. I was supposed to do a Drewski story, but that's going to be another time. Because it's kind of like watering down right now with the false prophets and stuff upset with them. So I did something like that yesterday. It's called Why Do People Love Mega Churches? It's something like that. But if you want to check that, check that clip, you just go ahead and listen to it and like, share, subscribe that one. Also with this one as well. With this story right here, with the Mr. Tendernism story, it's just crazy, man. I always, I'm an advocate of gatekeeping our own, foundational Black Americans, just gatekeeping our own and just, keeping it moving from there. Don't want to have anybody try to buy us out or try to sell us out or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, this for this story I'm gonna do. Um, Keith Lee, I think he's like I know he's a, celebrity. He came to the restaurant, and then he wanted to give Mr. Tendernism a big tip. I think it was either 4,100 or $5,000, something like that. And then the owner caught wind of it, and then he didn't. The owner was like, the owner just Mr. Tendernism not available. He's not available. And so he exposed Keith Lee exposed all that. You know what I'm saying? So this Mr. Tendernism, this I'm just gonna say I'm before I go on, I'm just gonna say something about this guy, man. He's an older guy. You could tell he's not, he doesn't really you tell he's not the type of person that stand up for himself. And I can see like the way how he acts in the videos and stuff with the white guy with him. I guess that's probably a spokesman or the owner, I guess. But I see he was like, the owner was speaking for him, and he's every time you see him doing like, taking the meat off the bone, he's doing some type of dance, like like he's a mascot or something like that. You know what I mean? That's why I say I'm an advocate of gatekeeping our own and all this stuff. And I believe something tells me that they made Mr. Tendernism sign some paperwork over to these owners. The white guy, I think Nick, his name is. I guess sign something over to him and make Mr. Tendernism do all the work, knowing he is the work. He did the work for the company, for the restaurant. All that meat falling off that bone like that. Wow, that meat look good right now. Just even thinking about it. But otherwise, it's just crazy, man. Just thinking of just even thinking about this stuff is crazy. This story is crazy. I end up, shout out to Pink Book Lessons, Willie D, and Street Media TV for covering the story because I watched all three of their clips about it, and it's just for me, I'm just I'm an advocate of gatekeeping our own, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't need what I mean any other backgrounds coming into our business and try to take over. Try to colonize our businesses. Nah, it doesn't work that way. We worked from the ground up, and you got some of these people that want to come and take over our spots so we could work for them. Nah, it doesn't work that way, man. For me, at all. So this story overall is just crazy, man. Just we just need to gatekeep our own. They using him like you can see him in the videos dancing like a mascot, putting up the number one sign. I don't know what that's for. I guess it's just the number one restaurant, I guess. And it seems like it's just like I've seen comments on on it. Like I made a comment on the street media team, and I just said we just need to gatekeep our own, man. This real talk, man. Because I seen some comments, he's calling him Mr. Sambonism and all this stuff like that. The guy, I guess they know who they can control. Because if he was a younger guy, I don't think that would have worked. So they know who to come at, and not to come at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this story overall is just crazy to me, man. You know. Okay. Um, what else I'm gonna say? I got a couple of things here. I just wrote down. Okay, you said yeah. He's basically. I got okay. This man was used by the owner of this restaurant. Yeah, he's basically using him as a face while the owner is behind the back somewhere. Use this guy as a face, Mr. Tendernism. That's the name of the store, the name of the restaurant, but he's not the owner. You know what I'm saying? So use him as a face because he's everybody look at him like the younger generation. They call him Sambo all day. You know what I'm saying? So the generation younger than me. You know what I'm saying? So this just overall just crazy. What's going on with this man, and just and I heard they fired him too. I think maybe like after the this story actually went viral. It went viral to the point that they ended up firing him, and he's don't want to don't Mr. Tennerism don't want to take a stand. That's what I got from it. So I got that. Um. Oh yeah, that's what it is. On Martin Luther King Day, they fired him, and then he was like, had him like tap dancing on that day too. And that's just, that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? White supremacy. That's just real, man. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's just, it's just like I just, just looking at the story overall, just disturbing. And then the white guy that was with him in the video, in all the videos and stuff that's going viral, he's basically like a like speaking for him, like he can't speak for himself. And every time Mr. Tenderism does talk, it seems like they putting words in his mouth to say what they want him to say. And that's not right. That's not fair. Let that man say what's on his mind. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I remember he had an interview, him and the guy, I believe they was on Willie D. I think that's about the interview was maybe about like 40 minutes. I didn't watch the whole thing, but you could tell the way how the white guy was looking at Mr. Tenderism, and then Mr. Tenderism was just like, he looked at him like, yeah, say what I tell you to say, and he's saying talking to Willie D, and it seems like something wasn't right, to me, something wasn't right there. Like you got a guy, you know, that's next to you, he's looking at you, he's telling you to say what I'm telling you to say, and he's an older guy, so a lot of them old folks like that, they not, a lot of them, especially, they for them to, succeed, they gotta do extra shoe shining. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. You know what I mean? Okay. They made him look like a fool though, overall. All the comments on different social media sites and all the stuff, they made Mr. Tenderism look like a fool, and people, like I said, calling him Uncle Tom and Sambo and all this stuff like that. It just, it I thought about it. I'm like 50-50 on it. I'm like, this guy, Mr. Tendernism, I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it's just like, this story is just crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I got a few more things to say before I wrap up. Keith Lee, as I said, he gave him a big tip. Tried to give him a big tip, $4,100, and then you know this what made it go viral because he couldn't get to Mr. Tendernism, so the owner told him, "Oh, he's not. You can't see him right now. She can't see him right now." So what I mean? He giving the man, showing the man love, whatever, because he the one that's cutting, the meat off the bone, and then whatever the bone, when they come off the bone, he's showing you how to do it, whatever. Although it looks, kind of Sambo-ish, but you know how he did do it, and it's just, come on, man. The owner made him refuse the tip. 4,100, 4,100. That's a, what I mean, a nice little come up for him. But at the end of the day, you know, sorry to say, Mr. Tendernism, he just got caught out there, with this mess. It's just crazy, you know. It's just crazy. But if you like what you hear, just like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell on YouTube where you get your next videos. And the other videos, whatever, I haven't got much views, but you listen to those, and then like, share, comment, and subscribe as well. You know, this is James Crawford from the Crawford Experience. Have a nice afternoon. See you next time. Bye.